Hi everyone, my name is Ingrid. Welcome to Tea Time. I'm taking my cup again. We're not going to talk about tea, we're going to talk about traffic, the lifeblood of every entrepreneur in the history, basically. Because everyone needs traffic. Everyone needs traffic. I hope everyone is present. It is in YouTube, I see. And how about Facebook? Good. Welcome to coming. We're going to talk about traffic, like I said, and specifically in this episode, we're going to talk about the dream customer. Why? Why do we want to talk about the dream customer? You can always say, you can pay for advertising. I mean, why not? Why not just pay for advertising? Well, let me tell you something. In the year 2000, Google invented AdWorks. If you're old enough, you remember. The prices were very low, so all the people all the business people could get in, and they had a pay-per-click system. Basically, they charged you 25 cents for a click. When one of your people, whoever you're trying to target, clicked on that ad, you pay 25 cents, for instance. So let's say 100 people clicked, so your total costs were 25 euros, right? Now, if your advertisement on Google led to a product which costs about $30, then you have a margin, right? $5 profit. So that's good. So in the beginning, that's what they did. They had low prices. Everyone got in and then clicked on your ad, and you made a little bit profit out of it. But throughout time, Google ramped up the prices a little bit. The prices went up. Which means basically that from the margin that you had at the end, the difference between 30 and 25, became smaller and smaller and smaller. And then something happened called the Google slap. They were upping the prices again and again. And basically what they did is they killed every small entrepreneur out there, at least 50% of them, let's put it that way. And they had to find different sources, because if you had to pay $1 per click and you had 100 people, then all of a sudden your costs were 100, right? But let's say only 1% converted into a real sale and your sale is 30, then you have a deficit, a loss of 70. So it was no longer profitable. So all small entrepreneurs could not afford that anymore. So they went to other streams like email marketing, advertising in blogs, or search engine optimization, which works on keywords. And even there, Google changed the way they drive traffic based on keywords. So basically what Google was doing was they were going after the big investors, right? That's the Pareto rule. 80% of your income comes from 20% of your customers. So they were going after the big advertisers who could afford to spend $1 million or something like $1 million per month on Google ads. So as a small entrepreneur, you either had to adapt or you lost. Basically, that's it. Now, next thing, 2007, Facebook ads becomes live. Prices were low. All small entrepreneurs went in there. And especially the targeting system within Facebook was very good because people type in their interests, so you could really pinpoint them. But what happened a couple of years ago? The prices went up for Facebook advertising. Sounds familiar? What do you think is going to happen in the near future? What do you think Facebook is going to focus on? So how do you survive this? Is paid advertising really for you or not? You can survive it by two ways. You can learn how funnels work. I will explain in a moment what that is. Or you can find different strategies, not advertising, to get the eyeballs, the people, towards whatever your marketing message is. Now, what I say about funnels, I will explain that in another episode in depth. But basically, in small, when you are, for example, when you go to McDonald's, right? And you go there and you want French fries and you want a McChicken. They will always ask, as soon as you say the word French fries, they say, do you want sauce with that? Mayonnaise or French fried sauce or whatever it's called. That's called an upsell. It basically means you have a choice whether you want to buy something extra or not. So you go there with an initial order, initial something that you want, and they offer you something extra. That's called an upsell. If they're good, then whether you say yes or no towards that sauce, they will say, hey, listen, if you add a Coke to this, Coca-Cola or whatever brand they're selling, you get a 40% discount on the Coke. Do you want that? That's called a McChicken menu, right? So that's another upsell, another choice that you can make. Do I do this, yes or no? Do I stay with the original order or do I go for the extras? That whole process, from starting small to one extra, and then thank you for being our customer, you can drive towards window number one. That whole process is called a funnel. That's in real life, but of course you have that online also. So either you do funnels or you find a different strategy that does not involve Google advertising or Facebook advertising. If you want to go with Facebook advertising or Google advertising, be my guest. Be my guest. That's not my decision to make. I'm just offering you a different strategy. And that different strategy is called the dream customer strategy. So what do you do there? You identify the ideal customer for the product or the service that you sell or the service that you provide, so that you can help them. You find out where they are. That's step number 2. Step number 3 is you work your way in or you buy your way in. Step number 4 is you create your own publishing platform, for instance, a Facebook group or a funnel. And number 5, you create your own distribution list. That sounds very much like email marketing, the money is in the list. That's the dream customer strategy. If you cannot do paid advertising or paid traffic, you go to organic traffic. And that's what we're discussing right now. But still, even though suppose you have all defined that, your dream customer, you still need to know they don't know you. In school they learn a certain skill. Bijvoorbeeld a chiropractor, he learns his craft, right? And if he does marketing courses or business courses or something like that, he learns also what it entails to have a business and employees and equity and finance and all that kind of stuff. And we were taught at school that basically if you are very good in what you do and you work hard, then you will make money. But how? It's not like there's a movie, and one line in that movie, I forgot the title. If you build it, they will come. Well, you can be as good in your skills and in hard work as you are. It does not mean that people know where you are. So you need to know. They need to get to know you too. So we're going to discuss that particular part in later episodes. So right now we need to understand first who those people are, those dream customers, those ideal customers, target audience, target customers, whatever you want to call them. You need to understand exactly who they are. So how do you do that? You need to, first of all, every business person is a problem solver, especially the little ones. You experienced something and it was agony, it was a lot of pain. You found your way out and now you have a solution. It could be someone else's solution. Like, hey, I went to a seminar of this and this person and he said this and this and that, and I had this, and then with that little bit of information, now all of a sudden I know what to do, and my life changed because of that, little or big. And now whatever it is, what he said, that particular piece of information, it helped me greatly. Let me help you, if you have that same problem, to guide you towards your solution. That is the basics of especially small entrepreneurs, and I hope big entrepreneurs also, but you never know, that we are problem solvers. We have a product that can help someone else to change his or her life. It could be that that person once was you. Like I said, if you had a problem before a couple of years ago, and you found a solution, and now you're offering that solution towards your ideal customer, then basically your ideal customer is the person in a position where the agony and the pain was, where you were several years ago, X years ago. So that could be also that's called, if you ever heard that term, our mess becomes our message. It could also be, that if that okay, well, a friend of mine experienced this. This was his problem. Then he heard this type of information. Now he's there, so that you're kind of reporting. That's also possible, right? So then you're describing what situation that particular friend was in. If you've not experienced the customer journey yourself, if you're in e-com, if you're in e-business, and you're trying to sell something which you don't have, but you're trying to sell it anyway. Before green trousers, I don't like green trousers, but you can describe the situation of why people would want green trousers, right? So you can define your dream customer. So what type of information do you need? You need to know who they are. You need to know, for instance, do they have a job? Do they have a business? Do they have kids? Where are they? What type of house do they have? What type of car do they have? What type of income do they have? All those types of things that will help you shape a form of who your ideal ideal customer is. Some people put all types of pictures on the wall. They have a whole avatar, they call it. You can call your dream customer a name that may you visualize it more, right? So they have a whole wall with type of house and the type of, do they have a dog or a number of kids or anything. It helps you visualize who you're talking to and what type of people you want to help. Another thing that you can find out about your dream customer is in what core market do they want results. Are they people? There are 3 core markets or 3 core desires, so to speak. It's in the wealth, it's in health, and it's in relationships. So what you're trying to find out is your product, what result does it give your ideal customer? And that result, is that in the health area, the wealth area, or the relationship area? For instance, do we have examples? Probably, but I don't know well. Okay, I'll get back to that. But what if you say I have a product that has not a result in either wealth, health, or relationship, but in two of the 3? Well, that puts you for a dilemma, because your marketing message should only be towards one area, one core desire. Why? Because there is an unwritten rule in marketing: a confused mind doesn't buy. So if your one message goes either towards health or either towards wealth, just for instance, but I need, what is this about? It creates confusion and they won't buy it. So don't do that. If you have a marketing message, whether that's marketing message is not always sales. It could be a blog also, or a podcast, or any type of words that you use to get traffic towards. That's what I mean with marketing message, okay? So if you have something that ends up in more than one core market, make a marketing message that is directly towards one, and another marketing message that is directly towards the other core market. Confused mind doesn't buy. Remember that. But what if you have a problem that is a solution that is not in any of these 3 core markets? For instance, razor blades, very interesting. You cannot say, well, if I shave, I'm going to be rich. So it's not really in the wealth area, right? So if you shave, I'm going to be more healthy. What do you mean? Does it mean that bearded people are not healthy? I mean, that's not making any sense too. If I shave, my relationship is getting better. Says who? Doesn't work that way, right? So where does a razor blade belong to? Well, maybe not directly in the three core desires, but the marketing message should be. I just said that. So what does Gillette do? Gillette is a razor blade company, as you know, shave for shaving, So what did they do? Gillette did it as follows. Bearded man walking down the street. No one noticed it. No one noticed him. Bearded guy goes home, shaved himself, shaved man walking down the street, and all of a sudden there's a beautiful woman coming by, and they connect. So what does that marketing message say? It's in relationship, right? So that you could also do if you think that your product is not in the three core desires, then choose one core desire that makes most sense and put your marketing efforts towards that, because then it's more visual for your dream customer. So the core market, where they are exactly, is one of what results they want, what they desire. Let me put it that way. In which of the three markets they want results. That's one other thing that you need to know about your dream customer. So remember that, write that down also. When you're making your avatar, when you're making your total picture of your dream customer, add that. Another thing you can add is whether they are running away from a problem or towards something pleasurous. For instance, health. Let's say they run away from pain. Then in health, their words would be, I have no energy, I'm so tired all the time, or I'm overweight and my clothes don't fit anymore. That's pain, right? They use those words. In wealth, that could be, I have no money, or I'm scared to lose my job. And in relationships, that could be, I am in a bad relationship, but I don't know how to get out. Or I'm alone. I want to know what love feels like. Those are pain points. And what's interesting is what type of words do they use? Because if your target audience is lawyers and you start talking to them in slang language, you will not connect. And you need to build a relationship with that dream customer. You need to connect with them. So you need to better need to use the words that they are using, right? Or use the words that you were using. If you are your dream customer a couple of years ago, like I said before, what were you thinking then? What words did you use? What phrases did you use? What was your pain? Can you describe it? Can you describe how it felt? Because all those terms are probably also the terms that your dream customer are using or can use. But also not just focus on what you used in terms. Go to forums, go to groups, listen to what other people saying and what your words they are using and what their pain points are. And another thing you can do is put yourself in their shoes and try to make sense of what they are thinking. All those things, all those words, all those feelings, all that will help you to describe if your dream customer is in a running away from pain area. What are the words that they are using? You can use those words in your blogs, in your podcasting, in your presentations, in whatever you want to spread out. Then the towards pleasure side, a person is either running away from pain or running towards pleasure, either two. So if he's not running away, he's running towards something. So those are the people who look for more. Those are the people who say, I want a six pack. If you're talking about health as a core desire, I want a six pack, or I want to eat healthy so that I have more energy. And in the wealth area, it could be something like, I want to grow my business to have more impact, or I want my dream house. And if they are in the relationship area, say, I want more passion, or I want more time with my children. Now you can hear it already. I started with everything that's called I want, I want, I want. While if you are running away from pain, pain is so profound, so deeply inside of you, then you talk differently. You don't just talk with I want, you say I need this. I will get to the difference a little bit later on, but there's a difference between need and want. So you have the same core desire, one of the three: health, wealth, or relationships, but there's an opposite view. You're running away or you're running towards. So do that exercise that you did with the running away from pain. What words did you use? What words do others use? And put yourself in their shoes. You can do that also to define your ideal customer in where they are running towards. And especially this exercise is very important because those words you can use directly in your marketing message to drive traffic. Your marketing message will directly tap into this. Okay, so that's what you can do. Now, there's one other thing I want to discuss with you, and that's for describing your dream customer is, are they searchers or are they just scrollers? Because that's a different way of approaching your ideal customer. Now, if they are searchers, basically that means that whatever you are using for traffic needs to be search driven, search based. For instance, Yellow Pages. Do you remember? Are you that old that you remember the Yellow Pages? I am. Yellow Pages, if you don't know it, it's a thick book that lists all the people who have a telephone and want to be listed, plus all the businesses in a certain area, all the businesses ordered by category. So, search advertising. Search-based advertising. We were talking about that. Before the year 1800 or early 1800s, when you had food, you needed to hunt, and then you got, if you were good at it, you got the result, right? So you went out to get something, what you needed. You needed food, so you needed to do an action to get a result. In 1886, the Yellow Pages were invented, and again, all businesses by category. So suppose you had a leak problem in your roof, for instance, and you were not able to fix that yourself. Then you took the Yellow Pages, you went to a roof fixers, I don't know what category it is, and you found someone who can fix your roof, or if you need a plumber or anything like that, right? So basically, you as dream customer was doing an act, needed a roof fixer, a plumber. So you got into action, you searched in a category called the Yellow Pages, and you found your solution. And in the early stages of internet, it was basically the same, like the early stages of internet, when there was not so vastly spread as it is now. If you needed something, you searched this and you found something. You found a problem, a solution to your problem. The problem for a business is, of course, you can do search-based advertising. You made sure that you had an advertisement in the Yellow Pages, and then when people found you, they saw the advertisement first before the long list with just names. So they saw you first, so they call you. That's the idea, right? So that was search-based advertising. Your ideal customer made a search, and they found you. Well, if you're advertised in this case, the Yellow Pages. The problem is that you had to wait until your dream ideal customer had a problem. And that means you had no control over the people coming towards your business. Not nice. Not nice. Same. By the way, the same thing happens with shops these days, right? If you have a brick and mortar, you have a shop in shoes. If someone needs shoes, they come into the store. So the ideal customer takes the action and comes into the store to buy a pair of shoes from you. Again, you have no control who's walking in or out. That's the difference. So that means that you have a different approach for traffic than just interruption-based advertising, interruption-based traffic, which is the point I'm getting now. So you got the people who are searching, they have a need, they search for a solution, and you got the people who are just scrolling. For instance, if you go through Facebook and you reading what all your friends are saying, and all of a sudden, bam, advertisement. What's that doing there? Okay, I'll explain in a moment. Let me back up for a moment. 1927, TV was invented. Very good. 1942, the first TV commercial came. It was, I wrote it down, Boluva watch, a watch. It was shown in some kind of sports event. Why? Sports event is there. Apparently that was their ideal customer, all the sports fans. So you're watching some kind of sport and all of a sudden, bam, an advertisement for a watch. So what they are doing, why? You would ask, why all of a sudden am I watching for something for a watch while I am watching a lot of watching while I'm watching a sports event? Well, what they're doing is they plant the seeds for desire. You don't want a watch. You already got one. You don't want it. But what they're doing is they're showing you what that watch can lead to. For instance, if you wear this beautiful Boluva watch, it's a beautiful watch. It has a gold in there and it's a blue plate, and it looks like you have a lot of money. So then that means that's the message. That means that if you look like you're having money, different opportunities are coming your way. And if you play your cards right, you're going to have your own island in a couple of years. Let's say that's the message. I don't know if that exists. There's a lot of faults there. But let's say that that's the message, right? Then there are several points when you can say, well, I don't need that watch. I already have a watch. But you look richer. Interesting. What are they saying more? Different opportunities are coming your way. Oh, I want that. I want different opportunities. And you can have your own island. Oh, yes, I want that island. And now all of a sudden you want that watch. You see how that works? They're planting seeds to create some sort of desire. And all of a sudden you want something that you didn't want before. Now, it may not happen in one episode or one sports event, but if you see that advertisement coming by enough, seeds are planted enough, all of a sudden that desire, that want will come. You don't need it, but you want it. That's a big difference. Okay? So that's what they're doing with interruption-based advertising. You have some sort of captive audience watching a game, for instance, like I said. You entertain them, you educate them, and all of a sudden, there comes your message. Buy this and this watch. They grab your attention. They have several seconds to create desire with you. The perceived value. When you have this watch, you're going to have your own island. And then they make you an offer. That's what interruption-based advertising means. And that's what you're seeing now everywhere when you're scrolling through Facebook, right? You're scrolling towards the messages of your friend, and all of a sudden, boom, there comes something like, what's that doing there? And then you start to look, and interesting. And then they got your attention. Again, they are creating desire. So what's the difference? The difference between that search-based traffic and that interruption-based. Well, for search-based, like I said, the customers who go to your shop need the shoes. So they already basically standing with the wallet in their hand, ready to buy. They're called hot customers. So they come to you. They make the action, they come to you. But the disadvantage of that is that you need to wait until they come. And also, they're going to compare prices. So you need to be a price leader, a quality leader, a niche leader, all types of leaders. And the only way you can win that game is when you learn how to use funnels or when you learn how to lower your prices. And lowering your prices is not a very smart thing to do, because that shrinks your margins until they're gone. There's no, how do I say that? It's not a good position to be in, if you have to keep on lowering your prices. While in the interruption of attention, you create the desire. Those are the seeds that you plant, right? So you don't need to wait. And by the way, in Facebook, that's really easy. If you use Facebook advertising, you can target your audience based on their interests. So they're divining the ideal customer really good there. But the disadvantage of interest-based is that you have an audience who doesn't need a watch, but so that means they're also not really active. They're not less likely to take action upon your offer. And you need to be also very good at grabbing their attention, creating the desire and making the offer in order for them to buy. So that's a longer process. So the traffic that's coming towards your message is either search-based or interruption-based. Now, there's a lot of free information out there. So that's why interruption-based right now is most common to use, especially. But if you have a shop, the search-based, if you have a shop like a shoe shop, I said in earlier, the different kind of way of feeding traffic towards you. It still means you need to define your dream customer. You still need to know who they are, because if you're selling women's shoes and you're targeting, you're putting your marketing advertisement in the middle of a sports game, that's not going to work. So you still need to define your dream customer. So again, besides just knowing who they are, how many kids, type of house, type of income, all those stuff. Also know where the results are, which of the 3 core desire their results are if they buy your product. Are they in the health, the wealth, or the relationship? Are they running away from pain? And which phrases, which words do they use? Are they running towards pleasure? Which words and which phrases are they using there? And which one did you use? Very important. Try to figure that out. It really is going to help you. And then leading towards that, are they more the people who actively search for a solution? So the people who have a need, or are they people who are just scrolling and going for the next shiny thing? Hopefully that will make a solution for them. So more the scrolling people. All that packaged together defines your dream customer. And it could be, maybe you remember it better if you define that with a name. We make an avatar of it. Call it the avatar, call it the name like Alexa. So I don't know. Doesn't matter which name you type it, but make it visual for yourself, who your dream customer is, what words do they use, what are their really pains, what are their real, do they want, where are they running away, are they running towards, all the things that I said. Okay, that's going to help you in the words you can use in your marketing messages. All right, that's it for this time, for this episode. I tried to keep them as small as possible within the 45 minutes. We're now at almost 35, so we're doing good. 3 things. All the things that I'm saying come from several sources, of which of them this book from Russell Brunson, Traffic Secrets. If you want to follow me along with all the lessons that I'm saying here, get the book or send me a DM message, and I see a comment coming by, so you're welcome, Sean. Send me a DM message. I'll give you a link where you can find a book. I also have an audio book of that, an audio. So drop me a DM message. I'll give you a link for that. If you have any suggestions about traffic, let me know. Other books I can read or other sources I can tap into. Drop me a DM message in Facebook and I'll find you. And if you have friends who think, well, I have a friend who is a business owner who's struggling right now with having traffic, invite them along. Let them join the Backstage Leaders group, our group where you are in right now, and they can follow along. Can follow this tea time show along. All right. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.